Hey everybody, welcome back to Fussy Cut Crafts. I am Adrienne, and I decided, since I actually did a little not on camera collage slash glue booking last night, I thought it would be a good idea to maybe come on and just do a flip through of some of my glue books, and collage journals and art journals and all that kind of thing. I'm not going to do them all at once because my goodness, have I ever collected quite a number of them, including one I just spent about a half hour trying to find, which I cannot for the life of me find. So that's a problem. Um, but I've got several of them. So I thought it would be best to start off with the first two I did, which I'm pretty sure are these two. Um, and I think this one over here was the very first one. As you can see, I covered this one in stickers. We can get into that a little bit later. Um, yeah, so I started doing this whole thing I started with art journaling in the summer of 2023, which quickly turned into glue booking and then collage and all this other kind of stuff. And like I said, I think this is the first one I started with. Luckily, it was easy to find. This one and the other one are very prominently placed on one of my bookshelves, along with every other glue book I have. So I've got a white one where I was doing tape transfer art, which I really enjoyed doing, and I had done some cool stuff in there. That is the one I cannot find, so it really annoys me. But my coffee over here. Um, I'll look at that later and we can go through that one at some other time. So, oh Lord. Okay, I forgot that there was a pocket. I forgot there was a pocket. And I've got stuff in here, guys. I've got stuff in here that I should probably just go ahead and take out, because if I leave it in here, it will stay in here and I will continue to forget about it. Luckily, I've got piles of stuff everywhere. Oh my God. Numbers and words and random scraps, of course. There's stuff on the, stuff on the other side. The rest of you do this too, right? Just like you're cutting stuff up, you put them in a random spot, and then you put the book away and you forget. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, I can remember cutting this stuff out a couple of years ago, but my goodness. Honestly, I'm probably going to end up throwing most of this away. Some of these are so tiny. Look at that. Can you see that moving around, that little yellow scrap? It's like the size of, it's smaller than a penny. I don't know what I thought I was going to do with that. I'll deal with this stuff later. Okay. Now we got all of that out of the way. So I think I started this basically in the fall. Oh, another scrap. In the fall of 2023. Of course, the inspiration was YouTube, because I did not know that this was a thing that people did. I really did. Even though for years I had been buying magazines, getting magazine subscriptions, and ripping out photos or art or articles or, whatever that I wanted to keep. And I used to have basically one, and I still have the bookshelf. It's a small bookshelf with two shelves on it, so it's not very tall. But that used to basically be filled with binders with page protectors in them, where I would keep all of the pages I pulled out. And I had the binders organized by category. Like there was health and beauty, there was, health, or there was like exercise tips. There were ones where there were a couple of fashion binders where I would just keep ads and things like that I liked. Of course, now I wish I had kept all that stuff, because I'd be able to use them from magazines from 15, 20 years ago or whatever, but I did not. So that's a lesson for you. Keep your stuff until you decide you want to start using it. because if you get rid of stuff, you will, well, okay, I don't want to say that. Obviously, you should get rid of some things. We're all kind of hoarders a little bit, I think, because we love paper and magazines and books and stuff like that. So you need to go through things on a regular basis and get rid of things, and you need to use your stuff. It's important to use your stash. Um, but if you've got stuff just sitting around that you haven't done arty stuff with, it's important to go through things and actually use them and not just hoard them and hold on to them for no good reason. Even if you're just putting some of the pictures up on a bulletin board or something like that, at least have it out so you can see it because you saved it for a reason, right? It's clearly something you like. All right. So I know a lot of people don't, a lot of people, when they do this kind of thing, they go through their glue books randomly because, or even art journals, people do that because I keep hearing people say that it helps so that the journal doesn't get, like the spine doesn't break or it doesn't get lopsided or whatever. I am someone who had I had a very hard time trying to do that. So like the first few journals I used, definitely I always just started at the beginning and went to the back. And I think I actually did front and back for a while. Like that was the goal, to make sure I did front and back, didn't just go straight through the book. Let me go ahead and start flipping because there's a lot of stuff in here. I really do. It's been a long time since I looked through this because it's just been sitting on my shelf. And like I said, I have a lot of art books and glue books and art journals and stuff like that now. Just make sure you guys can see both of everything. And I do less now of this, of like standard glue booking where you just take any random image you like, even though I really do like this one. This is kind of like a sun up here, this image of these people. But I do less of the thing where I just kind of put anything wherever when it comes to, like, I don't cut out a lot of advertising images, like stuff like this M&M anymore, because I like to do more, I mean, unless I did something like cut it out in a random shape and use only part of it or something like that. It's stunning how many of these I actually remember doing now. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be a really complicated thing. There are a few pages here where I put a background image down and then never got around to putting anything else on top of it. So that's a thing. But I think even if you're just gluing down a background that you like and you don't put anything else on top of it, it's still a good way to, like I say, save something that you ripped out because you like it, even if you don't do anything else with it. And this is just two images here. This is just the background in this watermelon where they decorate with the seeds and use it to make a face. This book is also really wrinkly, which I don't remember what kind of glue I was using when I started doing this, but I just started with what I had. Yeah, I don't remember, because I am not somebody who really had glue sticks or whatever around before I started doing all this stuff, so I don't know what I used. But all these pages are very crinkly, which isn't terrible actually. It just is what it is. Missed those pages there. But some of that might be because this is just a regular Mead 5-star notebook. so the pages aren't, you know, it's just plain notebook paper basically. So that's probably why some of this is wrinkled up like this. I don't mind the feel of it though. It's got an interesting texture to all the pages because of that, which I'm fine with. And obviously you can get images and words and things from a lot of different places. You don't have to buy magazines. You certainly don't have to buy expensive magazines. You can easily use free magazines from that would be like at the front of the grocery store or out at the front of your local libraries. You can use newspapers, the free community newspapers. You can use something I got, which was after I did this book, a lot of travel. Pretty much every state, and especially major cities, they will have travel guides and things that you could order that have a lot of pictures, cool pictures and things in them. And those are almost always free that they'll send to you, and you get a lot of cool things in those, including maps. You'll end up with a lot of maps that way if you like maps. So that's something you can use that's free. If you're just kind of trying this out, or if you're, you know, trying to save some money, and you can also, there are ways to get free magazines. Mercury magazines, if you sign up there, they'll start sending you emails when they have an offer for a free magazine subscription. They might be for 6 months, they might be for a full year, they might be for 2 years they've had sometimes. Like a giant eyeball. I did weird stuff with that. Check at your libraries. This is another one where it's just this background image and then some giant lips that I cut out. Check at your libraries. They will either give old issues of magazines away if you ask, or sometimes they sell them, and it's usually like, I've got one library that'll give them away, and another library that sells them for 50 cents each. So that's a good way to get a hold of fashion magazines and travel magazines and business magazines and pretty much every kind of magazine you can think of, car and driver, train magazines, quilting, art magazines, everything. I really do love an extravagant lip. I actually, a few months ago at Half Price Books, I found a little book that was just filled with one makeup artist. She kind of specializes in fancy lip art. And so it's just like 200 pages of lips with different, you know, she adds sequins and does drippy paint, not paint, I guess it's some kind of lip gloss or something that she drips from them and everything, and does all these pictures. And this is just one image that I didn't put anything down on. I think we're into the section of the book where I was kind of like, okay, I'm tired of looking at this book, but I had put all of these background images down. So of course I could at some point go in and add things to the top, and you don't have to do it like this. You don't have to put down a background image and then fussy cut images and then, you know, whatever. You could just put down full page images if you want. Or you could just put down fussy cut images. You could just put down words. So you really can, there are no rules. You really can do it however you want to do it. Because it's just supposed to be fun and something that makes you happy. And when you get a page like this, where there's just like you know, a lot of cool art or some food that's really pretty or something, or just images that you really like, it makes sense, like I said, to save those in some way. And if you like ripping pages out of magazines and gluing paper to other paper, this is a good way to take care of it. Okay, I ripped some pages out there at the back because it was getting super chunky. I'm sure I have that paper saved somewhere because I never get rid of anything. You all know what that's like, right? To never get rid of anything. Okay, now let's go through this second book, and we're only about 15 minutes in, so I might be able to fit one more in. We'll see what happens. I've got my coffee. I hope you got some coffee. As you can see, I put a lot of stickers on the cover. That's something I like doing when the cover's plain because I have a lot of stickers. Though I did recently give some stickers away to the craft resale store that I've been going to. And this was, you know, from when I was planning. Was a page of Happy Planner stickers. And I'm like, I'm never going to use all these tiny dots. I'm just not going to do it. So I just pulled the, you know, like the negative off. And this looks really cool. And it feels cool too. I like the way that feels. And we'll look at the back cover when we get there. You can see here, this is from late 2023 to early 2024 that I was working in this one. Now this, I actually really like these books. This is from Walmart. Is the name on it? No, there's no name on it. But the pages are perforated, so you can rip them out if you want to. But it's good like a drawing paper basically, so a little bit thicker. And you see that helped with, well, hopefully you can see that helped with images not wrinkling. By this point, I was probably also using a better glue stick. Let's see. Yeah. So these overall came out a lot better. This is another one where it's weird how you can not look at something for a while and remember not just having put it together, but kind of actually remember doing it. I got a little tiny cat up there. Watches, fingernail polish bottle, random jewelry around this background. That's crazy looking. And you can, you know, as you've probably seen from other people, you can do a lot of wild stuff. Because again, you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to make sense. I mean, look at her. That doesn't make sense. Let me see. Look at her right there. You can use food to stand in for the moon or a person's head or whatever you want. One of the things I do like doing, I like how I did that there. I put her onto this art piece, which is basically just a canvas that's painted like in different gradients of red. I do like collecting. Is that yeah, that's something I added. I do like collecting anytime you go through a home or a design magazine and they have artwork. Sometimes I just cut out the artwork so I can put it around in different places. Another thing that's cool is when you look at fashion magazines and they have the blotches of fingernail paint or smears of lip gloss or lipstick and things like that. Those are all cool things that you can use to fill up blank spaces, add color, add interest, add texture. I remember doing this one. Yeah, see? Don't know what that is, but that's cool. I remember doing this one. And I think this is another one where I very purposely went back to front on each page and did them very specifically in order. And just used, let me see. I know on this one, this is covering, you know, a description of what she's wearing or something like that. I think some of this is too. These cookies definitely are, because you can see some of the words poking out, which is fine. Give it some texture. And this is like a wine pour that I added. You can see some of the wine bottle in there. Diane Keaton. I totally wear that, by the way, without the gloves and the belt. I mean, without the gloves and the belt, it would basically be a tablecloth. But you know what? I'm in a moo right now, so I don't mind that. This over this really close-up image of a face, some words. I've got a plan to do something else with this. I've got tiny, like really tiny little faces that I want to cover her face with. So I've been collecting those in my small cigar box. And one day I will put that all over there. I like this one. So how's everybody doing? I hope you all had a great week. I hope you've had a great September. This year has just, I don't know, it's like 2025 got sucked into a black hole. It's gone by really, really fast. We are about to enter, you know, dark when we wake up, dark when we come home from work time of year, which is crazy. I'm glad that it's cooled off though, because I am not a heat person. And I've spent just the past week just looking at my calendar on my wall in my kitchen, where I actually write down, you know, doctor's appointments and when the bug guys come in and when I have to make this phone call and all that other kind of stuff. I have gotten a wild amount of stuff done this month. I haven't done a lot of cleaning. I haven't done a lot of other stuff. But I haven't done any yard work. Yeah, I don't think I've mowed my lawn at all this month. But it also hasn't really been raining and it hasn't grown that much. So it is what it is. But I have gotten a lot of other stuff done. I got all the passport stuff done. I got, let's see, hotel reservation done. One of the trips I'm coming up, one of the trips I have planned coming up actually is all inclusive with the exception of the flight. So I started tracking flights for that trip and another trip. I got the hotel taken care of for one trip. What else have I done? I've done other stuff. Like I've taken care of like some financial stuff. I just earlier today, one of the things I want to do is get a generator for my house. And they've got a lot of cool portable generators now that don't require gas, which I would rather have something I can keep in the house and that's solar powered. So I just looked up like lists of some of those, like the best portable generators to take care of your whole house and power the fridge and stuff like that. And so I'm going to be getting some of that soon. There are a lot of things I need for at least one of the trips I'm going to take. And I had already been adding things to my Amazon list. I'm hoping amongst hope that something will go on sale, and a good sale during Prime Days, because that's coming up like in the second week of October. And the last time they had Prime Days, I put all this stuff in my cart and one thing went on sale and it was only $3 cheaper. That was not very satisfying, I have to say. Like, if you're gonna call it Prime Days and do a sale and I have 20 things in my cart, I better be getting more than $3 off one thing. Are you listening, Amazon? Like, this sale better be good because I got a lot of stuff I need to get. I'm racking up points on Fetch.com or the Fetch app. And I'm holding on to them so I can eventually exchange them for something big and good, because it takes a while to get points. But I think Fetch is, I think it's easier to get points there than with any other point app or whatever that I've tried to use, because regardless of what the receipt is, even if it's only like, you spend $2 on coffee at a gas station or whatever, you still get 25 points. And then they have deals, specials where you can get more points at different kind of stores and for specific products. But it still takes a while, especially if you're trying to watch what you spend, which I still have not been that good with lately, but at least I'm getting points for pretty much everything I buy. So there's that. See, you can do wacky stuff like this. 2 ladies in red went over, and they're just in the river wild now with their legs sticking up. Don't worry, they survived. Giant trash bag on top of a old beetle. So I am actually quite proud of myself, because I've gotten a ton of stuff done that was just kind of floating in the wind and needed to be taken care of, and now it's taken care of. I need to have my deck repaired. And the first company I got in touch with said that my deck was unfortunately old enough that it's going to be out of, what do you call it? Like it doesn't fit current building specifications or whatever. So they're going to have to take it down if I go with this company anyway. And the lady came out and took all the measurements and stuff, and she said that their engineer had to make up a plan before they could tell me how much it was going to cost. That was on Monday, and I'm sure she's doing, dozens of these at one time or whatever. But the fact that I haven't heard from her yet makes me think it's going to be so expensive that she's just like, well, this lady didn't want a new deck anyway. She just wanted this repaired. I'm just not even gonna tell her how much. I'm just not even gonna bother. If she gets in touch with me, great, but I have no idea how much it costs to build a new deck. Now, this would be, what do you call it? Instead of wood, which is what I have now, what most people have, I was going to get it's not laminate, it's called something else, but the fake deck, basically, because the price of materials is the same, but there's no upkeep. They put it in and it just stays there, hopefully forever. So I told her to go ahead and price it for me, and we'll see. We'll see if it's worth doing. I've got some other companies that I need to call or otherwise contact. I actually went to the Better Business Bureau website to try to figure all of that out, and I just had them send my information to a bunch of different companies that do deck repair and deck work. So I started going through those to see if they will actually repair it, if it will actually be less. Because honestly, it would be great to have a whole new deck where I didn't have to worry about weatherproofing it every couple of years, worry about screws popping up, worry about boards rotting, worry about all that kind of stuff. But I also need to, there's just a lot of stuff I have to do around my house in general that will require a pretty penny. So I also need to do the most cost-effective thing. So we'll see. Let's see, we're at 29 minutes. Do I want to end here, or do I want to do a quick flip through of another? I think I'll do one more. And this is also one that I did quite early. This is my, middle-aged brain. What's it called? Well, for one thing, this is a happy planner notebook from the Little Mermaid live action movie that came out a couple years ago. En masse. Oh God, this is my en masse journal. I do not actually have all of these categories filled out in here. That was just my idea of what I was going to do, because for one thing, I started doing like labels and logos and words and things like that, and realized how much I enjoyed it, and actually moved pages from the back of the book to the front so that I could expand those categories, because it was only supposed to be, I don't know, like 4 pages per category or something like that. And I ended up really enjoying this, which is why I started doing my junk journal, so that I could save stuff like this. It was actually supposed to be just a whole journal for logos and labels, which turned into a junk journal. And we're into cats here. The fact that I haven't finished this is astounding, considering how many pictures of cats I come across. And this is this is for just random patterns, which again I like cutting out and using for things. Topography. So I hope you guys are like ready to head into, well, I guess technically we're already in fall. I think it started on the 22nd, and this is the 28th. It's the last Sunday in September. This is just, I've got pictures of women, and then there's another section where it's just pictures of people. This is supposed to be a black and white section, and it is mostly white because I have not put pictures down in here. Yeah, this is just pictures of people. The one thing about, well, it's good and bad. The one thing about this notebook is that the pages, like a lot of all the Happy Planner disc bound stuff, the pages just pop right out. So if you are a forceful, heavy-handed person like I am, and you're flipping pages, you can end up just ripping the pages out. This was supposed to be products, and it is. I just haven't finished it. This is another one that I did. When did I start this? Early 2024, maybe? And this is just the letter A because it's my first initial. And I've also got a letter J in category. And what I realized quite quickly is that the letter J in this like uppercase, large font does not occur that often. No matter how many magazines you get, you're just not going to see it that often. Random names, mouths, lips. Not quite finished yet because I started actually using pictures like these for glue booking and collage. Shoes. Love a good shoe. It's supposed to be lingerie. For whatever reason, don't come across a lot of pictures of lingerie in the magazines I get. Eyes. This is another one that I started using for just general collage and glue booking, as opposed to collecting just for their own sake. This is supposed to be fruits and vegetables, I think, and just general food, flowers, the color yellow. 50. All my, because I did this as I was going into turning 50. So I wanted to kind of pay tribute to that. And this was supposed to be my J page. And you see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And some of these J's aren't even that big. Look at that. Look at this tiny little J. Oh, I've got 7. But look at that. You just don't get a lot of large J's. And I kept the 50 theme going. Some birds. I get birds and, well, I need to cancel it. But I for like 2 years, a year and a half or something, got Birds and Blooms and Birds and Blooms Extra. I could easily have this filled up. So easily have all of this filled up. This is supposed to be just like leaves and greenery. makeup. But this basically just goes to show that you can do this however you want. There are a lot of different ways to do it. Oh man, empty. Don't I skip that? Oh, this is supposed to be flowers, which again, birds and blooms. Obviously, lots of pictures of flowers. Could have had all of this filled up. This is pink. Water. And that's it. And this also has a pocket, double pocket on the back, and a little envelope in it, which I think I added, because I think this notebook came with a set of 3 envelopes and some, like it was a box of stuff. So it came with the envelope and some extra paper and I don't know what else, like sticky notes and all kinds of stuff. But this is it for now. We are at, 36 minutes. That's good. So these are the first 3 of my glue books. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found a little bit of inspiration in here somewhere. You were able to have like a relaxing, maybe your own crafty time during this. And I will see you in a few days with another video. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend and beginning to your week. And I'll see you later. Bye.